Hey there, Libra, and welcome to your 2020 Creativity Tarot reading. My name is Kayleigh Jean, and welcome to my channel. I record these readings for people who are interested in self-expression in any way, people who are entrepreneurs perhaps, or artists, or interested in psychological growth and spirituality as well. So if any of those areas of life are important for you right now, go ahead and keep listening. I also wanted to point out that when I'm recording these readings, I am really looking for the general energies of each sign. And so it's possible that when you first hear this reading, since we are looking so far ahead as well, and it's a general reading, you may not find that everything makes sense right now, but I encourage you to come back and listen to the video as we go throughout the year of 2020, because there will probably be some things that sort of make thematic sense as we go through the year. And then also you can check out your sun, moon, or your rising, and maybe all three, because that way you'll get kind of more of a personalized sense of the energies that could be at hand for you in the new year. My readings always begin with some insight into the meditation where I tune in for spiritual messages for you. So while I was connecting to you, Libra, I was given this impression actually that 2020 is going to be a year in which you level up in major ways. Like, I really feel that in 2020, you are going to have the opportunity to evolve some aspect of your life very, very significantly. But the thing is, I feel like it's going to require quite a lot of dedication and effort on your part. And I was kind of seeing two tarot cards sort of clairvoyantly, the Ten of Wands card and the Three of Cups. And when I was seeing both of those, it kind of made me feel like there's going to be a lot of work with the Ten of Wands. There's potentially going to be a sense of really taking on a lot of responsibility in 2020, and I don't think you should shy away from that though, Libra. I think your goal in 2020 is really going to be about kind of taking on the responsibilities and the obligations that you feel purposeful about, like that are actually genuinely beneficial for you and that really speak to you, and then find a way to kind of be in a flow with them. So you can kind of imagine like a really swiftly moving river. That's what 2020 is for you. The current is going to be carrying you rapidly. And the sense that I'm getting is to kind of like lean into that current and to lean into that flow and find a way to stay balanced within yourself, maybe through some regular self-care or scheduling self-care in literally writing it into your calendar or your app that you use, and making that really non-negotiable, because I feel like 2020 is going to present you with a lot of opportunities, but you're also going to have to rise up to meet those opportunities. You're going to have to dedicate yourself. You're going to probably plan to work a lot, and I think you will find that maybe you do actually work a lot. So we'll look for kind of like the ebb and flow of this in your spread, but overall I really feel like it's important for you to kind of be prepared, not only to take on a lot of responsibility, but also to experience a lot of joy in that, because really one of the things that is the most psychologically gratifying for us often, especially as creatives, is this idea of taking on responsibility for something. It's taking on something that has meaning, being able to show up and do the work that's important, do the things that need to be done. And I feel like a lot of meaning and purpose can be found in simply surrendering to that and surrendering to whatever ways that we can contribute, because that's really what leads ultimately, especially for cardinal signs, which there's a lot of energy in cardinal signs continuing into 2020 with the eclipses across the Cancer Capricorn axis, which do square your sign. And these are initiatory signs. Like, these are signs of taking life into your own hands. And I feel like that aspect of you, Libra, you get perceived as a relationship-oriented sign, kind of like a sweet and kind and gentle sign, but still, intellectual and airy. You get characterized in those ways, but I think, it's important also that you are a cardinal sign, and to remember that you are powerful. Like when you set your mind to something, when you create a path, like mentally for yourself, like you visualize the path that you want to walk or something that you want to accomplish, you have an incredible ability to initiate that, and an incredible ability to not only initiate like walking that path, but initiate like seeing the things that you have as an internal vision kind of begin to materialize in the external world. You have an incredible ability to do that. So I feel like this year it's going to be about, like, number one, working hard, and taking on responsibilities that feel meaningful, and not just, working just to work or working to please others, but actually choosing what you're taking on and what you're sort of hitching yourself to. And then also like pausing and making sure that you are staying joyful throughout that whole trajectory. Because that was that Three of Cups energy, is like love, maybe you're having really great friendships this year, really great personal relationships, and just making time to prioritize those things. Okay, Libra, let's take a look at your cards and we'll get some more specific information for you about your year. Libra, Libra, Libra. Guidance for Libra, Libra, Libra. Libra. So I was kind of seeing someone on a horse in a field. I'm not really sure what that is referring to, but it did feel quite peaceful. Libra, Libra, Libra. I'm going to pull you your Animal Spirit Oracle card, which is going to represent a helpful animal energy for you in 2020. We've got Fire Ant. See, just like I was saying, if I had to pick a card in this deck that most related to the Ten of Wands card in the tarot, it would be the Fire Ant for sure. And I've actually seen them come up together in readings in the past. So there's definitely an association for me between those two cards, the one I saw clairvoyantly during your meditation and this one. The meaning is also very like quintessentially the same. So the Fire Ant is a card, first of all, of, as a creature, fire ants are, they don't necessarily see themselves as individuals. Like you could almost say that like one kind of mound where the ants live, that's sort of almost like one being, even though it's made up of all these individual ants. They sort of work as a team, and you can't really separate each one out. Like there's a sense of really working within a network with this card. There's a sense of maybe doing things that are more social in origin, or perhaps maybe even attending more things like trade shows for whatever you do, Libra. It could also be that you are gaining like strength within a network. So maybe there's, let's say, whatever kind of artist or creator or business owner you are, 2020 is going to represent opportunities where you can collaborate more with people, or where maybe this is like a referral system, so somebody can refer you to you when somebody asks them for something that they don't quite know how to do, and in turn you like do the same thing. So it's like there's a sense of complementary energy with this. That's like the first thing that I'm getting, is there's a lot to be gained through social interactions, social engagements, trade shows, partnerships, potentially collaborative efforts, even like events where, let's say, whatever kind of artist you are, let's say you do murals or something like that, you could attend an event where there's multiple people who are doing live art. and you're going to be one of them. Or if you're a musician, this would be obviously, you know, doing something like a live concert where there's multiple bands playing. And then you can also network with people and make really lasting friendships that will be supportive to you in your business in the future. If you're a product creator or something like that, I feel like 2020 is going to present you with a lot of opportunities to maybe get some new supplies or make edits to your supply chain, or collaborate with other people who are making complementary products, and you're able to market to different groups, like you're able to cross market with each other. Or there's just this kind of energy of like, you're not necessarily meant to do things by yourself. This year, Libra, you will gain a lot by finding mutually beneficial and inclusive groups or partnerships to work in. The second aspect of fire ant is that it represents an energy that can feel like there's just a lot going on, a lot of opportunities, a lot of people contacting you. You might be getting a lot of emails this year. Your phone might be ringing a lot. So again, this is all very part and parcel, very connected to what came through in the meditation. I feel though, even if this feels a little bit like a whirlwind year, I think it's going to be really good for you. So I don't want you to be like concerned about this, because really, again, what this tells me is that it's just going to be important for you to schedule downtime, Libra. Like, that's what it is. And you're going to want to prioritize your personal relationships as well, so that you're never getting too kind of sucked into your work. That's what I see as kind of like the potential downside. But overall, I see this being like exactly what you're looking for. Yeah, so we have the Page of Swords coming through as the January card, and also a card for the year. We've got 3 of Swords, 2 of Cups, and the Tower. Wow. So January, February, March, and April. We've got May, 6 of Wands. June, we have Queen of Swords. July, we have the Magician. August, we have the Shadow side. Interesting. September, we have the King of Cups. October, we have the 4 of Swords. November, we have the Queen of Cups. And December, we have Temperance. So that's really beautiful. You've got some significant majors all along this column of your reading, which represents like April, approximately August, and December. So there's definitely some really significant themes of growth in this reading. And I wanted to talk about the first card, which is sort of like a theme for the year. And what I kind of get with this Page of Swords is that as your theme card, it's like the message that I'm getting is that 2020 is going to be about like swinging for the fences for you. I know he's holding a sword, but it kind of looks to me almost like a baseball card in this image, and that's not always what I see, but that's kind of what's standing out to me right now. So you're playing a game, Libra, and I think it could actually help you to think about your life more in terms of a game, because it may help you kind of have more fun, first of all, and it may also kind of help you to embrace this attitude of strategy and an attitude of like willingness to try new things and be playful. I feel like when we think about our life, even for example our business as a game or something that is fun that we get to do, that is like it's a privilege. When we think about our business or our career or our responsibilities, when we think of those things as like blessings and privileges, like we get to wake up in the morning and help clients all day and help them solve their issues. That's a blessing and a privilege. Like when we really get into that mindset, we can take this more playful attitude. We can take this attitude of problem solving that maybe we don't necessarily have access to when we're taking life so seriously. So I hope this makes sense. I also feel like for some of you, this is indicating that whatever you're doing in 2020, just like I was kind of talking earlier about up-leveling, I think that's like really a good word for you this year is up-leveling, because when you have a page, especially the Page of Swords, as you go into 2020, it's like you're trying your hand at something that on some level you don't feel like you've mastered it yet, or even like you may feel like you're a beginner. But the key here is to show up and do your best anyway. I feel like that's really where the magic happens, and it's about giving yourself permission to do something different, to try something new, and to maybe not be the best at it, because the more you do it, the better you'll get, Libra, and I feel like that's the message. February, we do have the Three of Swords. I don't know exactly what this is about, because there's a lot of different ways that this could play out, since this is just a general reading, but for me personally, and I have Libra in a very prominent placement in my chart, I tend to feel, honestly, like February is one of the more difficult months of the year. That may not be everyone's experience, but I feel like for some of you, February could be like a time where you're feeling a little bit like you need to heal from something, or you need to take something out of your like, because you have the Page of Swords right here, and then he's like looking at the Three of Swords. It's like he's thinking like, if I take one of these swords out, then I can use it. So there is the potential for some of you Libras out there that like part of what you're doing in the beginning of the year is figuring out how you can use maybe something that is bothering you internally, as you can turn that almost through like an alchemy process. You can turn that into a healing gift for others. You can turn your own fears and anxieties into something that is helpful for other people, or into something that you create for your business. It's a delicate and interesting thing that I'm seeing here, but overall, I feel like you are using, in the first couple months of the year, you're using something that you struggled with maybe in your past, or maybe even still in your present. You're using that for some kind of good. So you're taking your emotional energy and applying it to something that can move you forward, I guess, is what I'm really seeing. It may also be just important for you to allow whatever like disappointments are happening for you in February to just be, and find acceptance. And this is something that I think is really important, especially when we're dealing with people that don't respect us, or with people who are toxic, or with people who are just not respecting like our boundaries or our rights. I think that could potentially come up because you have Two of Cups and the Tower following that. So it's like some kind of disappointment perhaps in a relationship, or in a partnership, even a business partnership, something like that is possibly like dragging you down a little bit, or it's a disappointing factor. But then like as a result of that, you are like making big changes, and you are learning also to accept that you can't control like what other people are going to choose. So if you're dealing with somebody who is like hell-bent on being toxic, or hell-bent on treating other people around them, including you, unfairly, I feel like in the first few months of 2020, one of the most empowering things that you can do for yourself is just to accept that there's never going to be any accountability from them, and accept that they're never going to change their behavior, and they're never going to probably apologize either. So this is really about you taking your power back by first accepting that which you cannot change about the situation. But that actually, once you do that, it kind of radically shifts you into a much more solution-oriented mindset. Because when you're waiting for someone else to change their behavior, or when you're hoping that somebody else will change, or you're trying to talk with them repeatedly about it and they never have, and you're like, they probably won't, but you're still kind of hoping, like that is tying up your energy. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here potentially. For others of you, by like the March, April time period, for some of you, there could be like a new love coming in with the Two of Cups and the Tower, which would sort of blow things out of the water. But I feel like there's still some intense energies around this. So you want to be mindful that like if you are meeting somebody around that time who feels like a soulmate, or there's like a really strong attraction, or like a fantasy about something, just be sure that you're kind of staying grounded with it, because sometimes if we go to like emotional extremes in the beginning of a relationship, we can fall far after that. So just be mindful of that, Libra. So as we go into May and June, we have the Six of Wands and the Queen of Swords, which I'll show you here. The Six of Wands in May shows the potential for some kind of success. Now, up until like May 22nd, that is going to be Taurus season. So there's a chance, I guess, during Taurus season, because Taurus is the other sign that's ruled by your ruler Venus. There's a sense with this that you could be like experiencing some kind of victory. This is typically a time of the year when you can feel like a boost, I guess, when you have like the sun and anything else is transiting Taurus that's kind of bringing some positivity. Just by the fact that Venus is the co-ruler of both of those signs, you tend to be somewhat compatible, let's say. There's a general inclination of compatibility. And so you could make some really awesome achievements. You could have a victory. Maybe if there's something that you've been waiting on, like monetarily wise or financially, or maybe even in terms of a launch, like launching an aspect of your business or a book or a course or something along those lines. That could be a really fortuitous time to launch. Like anytime, I know that there are going to be some retrogrades, and Mercury will go retrograde in June, like basically like the middle kind of part of June to like the middle part of July, a little bit less than that. So there is going to be a Mercury retrograde in there. There's going to be Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto all turning retrograde between April and June as well. And so there are going to be some interesting energies going on. But for you, it actually looks like you can profit from it. This is kind of one of those situations, Libra, where like other people might be kind of freaking out because they might be feeling like, oh my God, I'm stagnant, or something just feels like radio silence to me right now. Like you might have friends or hear people at work or hear people out in the world saying, oh my gosh, the energy is so weird. But you're kind of over here, like in your element in May and June, because this is air. So this is clearly pointing to you, Libra. And whether you're male or female, the Queen of Swords is showing you kind of in your power and being perceptive, because it's a queen. Queens are very perceptive and very psychic and very in tune. They're like more the yin essence of the air. They're the sovereign yin essence of air here with the Queen of Swords. So there's a sense of you kind of being able to bear witness to something objectively, and then and being able to kind of take advantage of it, or somewhere around this time frame of May and June. So I see you kind of having your wits about you when other people might be feeling flustered, and I think you're going to really profit during that time frame. So if you hear anybody talking about, oh, the astrology is pretty crazy or whatever around that time of May and June, I think you should just not worry yourself about it, because you're going to do really well. July, we have the Magician. So again, another very creative month for you. I think May, June, or July would potentially, if it makes sense for you in your business or for whatever you're doing, Libra, I think any of those months could potentially be a good time for you to launch something, or to change something, or to branch out a little bit with what you're doing. Work your magic here with the Magician. August shows up with the shadow side. So there is some potential with the month of August for you to have some fears coming up. It may be that you are feeling kind of in the dark about something, or you might have some kind of anxiety coming up, maybe because you've maybe put a lot on your plate in July with the Magician, and then all these good energies leading up to it. Like, it kind of feels like in August you might start to have some concern of like, well, can I actually handle this? Or am I giving too much of myself? Like, I almost feel like there's this concern, like, am I slipping into a negative pattern that I had in the past of overgiving, or of like pleasing others too much, or spreading myself too thin, that kind of thing. I'm not really seeing this as being super challenging or negative. I mean, it is the shadow side, but I kind of feel like this is more psychological than anything in August. you should start to feel like, you know, yourself again by the time your birthday season comes around. And actually, you know what, it does make sense because September is showing up as the King of Cups. So that means August, largely, you know, in Virgo season, you are going to have the sun in your 12th house, which tends to illuminate like our shadow side, or illuminates our deeper fears and things like that. And we might have some concerns coming up to the surface, or some things that we want to face. Just face them directly head on. Maybe doing some analytical work, or seeing a counselor or a coach or an astrologer or someone like that can really help you in August. So maybe plan for that if plan for maybe having the time or the funds to be able to do that at that time, because I think you'd really benefit from it. By the time we get to September, you know, which of course on September 22nd, the sun will move into your sign. And this is going to be really awesome. I mean, I feel like with the King of Cups, there's a maturity happening. There's an emotional maturation that we see with the King of Cups, whether you're a male or female Libra. It's showing that, like, at least in September, and perhaps throughout the majority of your season as well, you're feeling really in your zone. You're feeling really grounded and rooted to yourself. This is where some significant change can happen in regards to your status as well. We also saw some of that with the Queen of Swords in June, but there could be like another round of that. So I also feel like there's something about your vision, Libra, like your creative vision, that's enhanced at that time. So it's going to feel really good. And I think by the time we get to October, which is still, 3 weeks, of October is going to be your season still. I think with the Four of Swords, it's going to be important to take some time off in your season. There are going to be some squares, like the sun will be squaring Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter during your season. So I think with this 4, 4 is also a number that has to do with like the square shape. I feel like this is kind of saying that there's going to be an opportunity for you to just kind of take a break, I think, and not push things that don't feel like they want to be pushed in your life, but kind of just go with the flow more and be mindful of your health at that time as well. If you're starting to feel kind of sniffly, or if you're feeling like just like headachy and things like that, I think the important message here is just to get enough rest and to not try and keep pushing things that are clearly, rubbing you the wrong way, so to speak, like physically. So the message is just to really like find ways to just relax, unwind, rejuvenate, and less about kind of pushing. Now, the interesting thing is in November we have the Queen of Cups, which is a really beautiful thing to have, like she's looking over at the King of Cups. So for those of you Libras who are partnered, or who have like a really significant business partner that you're involved with, I feel like these partnerships are going to be really like flowing at that time. And whatever you feel like you need a break from, I feel like your partner is going to be able to step in and help, and vice versa. Like there's just a sense with when you have the King and the Queen of Cups coming up, these are sovereign cards from the same elements, and so they indicate like compatibility. So if you're a partnered Libra and you want some insight into how your relationship is going to go in 2020, I actually see you focusing more on career in like the first 2/3 of the year and making a lot of progress with that. And then I feel like the last third of the year, you're going to be really focused and really grateful for your personal relationships. And you're going to be like, okay, I need to rein that in and spend more time with my family, or more time with my friends, or more time with this person that I'm dating. So I definitely see that kind of being the flow of the year overall. So it's normal and natural if you have to put a lot of focus and energy into your career during the first 2/3 of the year, but try and still maintain some kind of balance with it. You're a Libra, so you shouldn't have too hard of a time with that. And then December we have Temperance. So you end the year on a really peaceful note, and honestly I keep seeing this. I feel like this is just a sign for you to know that by the time you get to 2020, to the end of 2020 is what I mean. By the time you get to the end of 2020, you're going to feel like you've undergone some kind of like peaceful growth. You're gonna look back on 2020 and realize that you're not the same person that you were going in, but with temperance, it's like that's okay. With temperance, it's like that's actually what you want. Temperance is a card of gratitude and patience and resolve and being temperate, being gentle with yourself, being balanced in terms of your own energy. So you're not going to extremes. And I think that's really how you're going to feel, is this sense of peaceful gratitude for everything that you've encountered this year, even the challenging things, because every year is going to have challenging events and challenging, chapters. But overall for you, I see you really up-leveling a lot. And I think by the time that you get to the end of the year, you're going to be in a totally different place in your life and within yourself, most importantly. So let's take a look at your, I'm going to get you just like a word for the year, or like a central focus that you can kind of take with you to remind you of your purpose, remind you how to stay connected to your joy. Initiative, and this is so freaking weird considering how I was talking before, and I don't normally talk about this, but how you are a cardinal sign, and cardinal signs are, in traditional astrology, they're known as movable signs because they get things moving. They take initiative. You begin a season, and your season that you begin is the more gentle season in the northern hemisphere. You begin fall, but you are still initiating a new season. You're the harbinger of a new season. So you have this like ability to take initiative that's sort of built into who you are, Libra. And I feel like with the initiative card coming up as your advice and what to focus on in order to stay connected to your joy and to achieve your goals is to take initiative. Don't wait for other people to do things, Libra. You are a gentle sign. You're a lover. You love relationships. You love to be connected to other people. You love being agreeable. You love to kind of be, I almost think some of the Libras that I know, it's like they're like the chapstick of like the social group. Like the Libra person comes in and like fills the cracks with like smooth, gentle energy. Whereas without them, sometimes you can feel like the energy just is parched, or like the conversations aren't quite so smooth and good. And when you get that Libra back in the group, it's like, oh yes, like we all benefit from your presence. And I think it's important for you to remember that you're not only kind of like the social lubricant, you are an initiator, you are a spark, you are somebody who will take action, get things going like that weren't going in that direction. You can change the flow of events. You get to play with the clay. You get to play with the clay of life, Libra, this year, and you're going to do so well at it. As long as you just stay purposeful and intentional about what you're doing, and anywhere in your life that you want more joy or more connection or more prosperity, you can have that. All you have to do is just take the initiative. Start something, and even if you don't have the resources, you will find that if you just take it one step at a time, take all the actions that you can take, the universe is going to show you the next resources that you need to draw from. So you're going to have everything you need. You just have to initiate the process. So never take scarcity as a reason not to do something this year. Just do it. Do what you can, and then wait and see what else is provided to you, because it will be there. So I hope this has been helpful to you, Libra. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a thumbs up right now. And if you really want to say hello and make me smile, leave a comment below letting me know that you watched till the end. Even just that is so amazing. And if you have emojis, you can put the little Libra scale emoji. I absolutely love the, I guess it's not Libra scale, but it's just scales. Put the little scale emoji if you have it. And and just, or let me know that you're still watching, because these readings are very thorough, and I know that not everybody is willing to put in that much investment of their time. And so anybody who watches to the end, it means everything to me. So go ahead and let me know your thoughts on the reading below, and also let me know if you just want to say, I'm still here, I'm still with you. I'd absolutely love that. And if you'd like me to look into your personal energies, I'll put the information for my shop below as well. I'm sending you guys so much love and gratitude. Libra, you're kicking ass. I think you're going to have an amazing year, so have fun with it, and I will talk to you next time. Mwah. Bye.